wasn't working.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we're recording now. I'm going to turn on the machine.
The ID, do you have it handy?
Carla, do you have the meeting ID number handy that you could read out loud for us?
Let me look and see what I can find. I just clicked on the link. I didn't look at the meeting ID number, but give me a second. Okay, meeting code. You ready?
Yep.
826 6406 5580.
826-640-65580.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, thanks.
Yep.
We're trying to get John connected.
Okay.
640-65580.
Yeah, you have, it looks like you have Trish as a attendee
Yes,
and not a panelist.
correct.
Okay, and then Gary and Chris Washburn and somebody else.
Yep.
Okay.
Chris Washburn is on behalf of Keystone. Correct?
Okay. I don't know that. I think so. I would.
Yeah, that was in the note.
Okay.
I can't remember where.
Oh, I only work. Okay.
Well, you've only got a, what, 1, 2, 3?
Really have two.
You have 3 because Jerry's on.
Yes.
4. Oh, there comes Mike walking in.
Oh, I've been here.
I'm trying to get so you're on the screen, Carla, and I don't know what we did to do that. I thought it was a gallery view, but.
No, it just says the host. It says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
Yeah, I'm
just a little offended, but that's okay. I'll
no, I'm
survive.
recording now. It says I'm recording.
We mouse Carla over here.
She's a attendee.
No, I'm a panelist. You've got me as a
Oh,
panelist.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
Go to more.
Make host. Make a co-host.
Can you turn your video on?
There it goes.
Oh, there we go. So you made me a co-host. Ooh, I'm so important.
Okay. Yeah.
Co-hosted.
Okay.
Did you get Jan?
Did you get Jan? I sent him the code, but I haven't heard him say that he got in yet. Hello?
Hello, Jerry? Jerry, do you have your video on?
It says that I can't start. There we go.
Oh, there you are now. Okay.
It wasn't gonna let me.
That we want to have on. Thank you, Alan.
Thanks, Alan.
Still only have 4 members.
Eric's here. Hold on. Let me see if I can get Eric. Oh, where'd he go? Oh, yeah.
You see Eric on there?
I'm trying to get him to that status. It's not giving me that option with him for some reason.
Ellen, you want to move your desk over there? You're just sitting there exercising tonight.
Nope. Nobody likes a smart aleck.
How about a smart Allen? Like that.
See, I go up and then it doesn't give me that option. I don't know why. It just says like, I just tried.
Mhm. Yeah, right click over here and see if we have
Are you still there?
Yeah, Carlos here.
Can you hear me at all now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There's my
John,
name.
Okay, do you have your video, do you have your camera on?
It should be on. I don't know how to turn it off.
John was asking if he needs a password, but I don't think he does.
There might be one in
Oh,
the.
Yeah, I just logged in through the town meeting website.
did you use a
Eric,
password?
Eric, there's a little
no.
video camera on there that you just click on. It's probably red right now.
The microphone in the lower left.
Yeah, and then there's a video. A little
No.
camera.
Well, there should be a camera icon too.
Hang on. That says recording. There's no camera icon. Let me go back out and try to come back in.
Okay.
This worked so well last time. What happened?
Well, it generally is, I mean.
I blame Alan.
I've been looking before.
That's the worst thing that happens today, you're in good shape.
7 o'clock at night, and that's the first blame you got today, that's not too bad.
Having a good day.
One is listed as a phone number, just so it shows the phone icon. One phone call-in listener. So it must be they're just listening on right now.
Does it show the number?
Yeah, 518-502-4038.
Okay.
I think Jerry shut off his camera temporarily because he's frozen.
No, it shouldn't be.
Oh, you got a great smile on your face. with
Yeah,
your
oh, there you go.
There you go.
Now it caught
No,
up
now
with
it's a different frozen.
you. Yeah, we're getting a full feed. Smile was better. Oh. There's Eric back. See, it's not saying, it's not giving me that more option. Oh, there it's gone. Gary's gone too.
On this one?
I haven't seen John yet at all.
No, he was asking for a password. If he needed a password.
All right. Can you hear me, Jim?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right,
And
it
you're not
says-
even on my list right now.
It says it just came back up, and now I got the split screen where I can see everybody. I have a meeting alert that says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it.
Okay, try that
I was
now.
getting that same message.
I didn't touch anything. All right, try that now.
I'm trying. No, getting the same message.
Oh my God.
I should have worn a Hawaiian shirt. It wouldn't matter.
Maybe it knows you have a face for radio, Eric.
Exactly.
You ought to see Mike's shorts.
Or not.
I don't want to see your shorts.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear everybody fine. I can see the,
He's not even on the list.
Mary, and I can see Carla.
I'm sure it's gonna have something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I put a picture of it down, it was last weekend, it was cool. I was like,
Yeah. Doesn't feel right.
yeah, that's-
Okay, now we got him.
Make sure it's there.
Eric, do you have your video camera on?
Yeah. Yeah, I had like 5 Teams meetings today.
Yeah, folks, the way that, the only way you got me on camera was to make me a co-host.
Oh, yeah, I'm not getting that. It's not like letting me take that option.
Yeah, I think you can probably only have 2, like, because Jerry's on as the host.
Well, yeah, but we have the town.
Yeah. And you're on.
Yeah, I'm no host. I'm terrible.
Jerry, take it away.
Cue the music.
Live from my basement.
I think we go with audio, do we need video?
Not necessarily, I guess. Eric, you
Do I have
can see
to
us,
get out of
right?
here? You want me to get out of here and come back in?
No,
I can-
no, don't do that.
I can see everything fine.
I can only see myself.
You got to get on the better view. Go to the grid view.
All right, I'm still looking for,
I'm in that. The gallery, speaker view, gallery view, all of them.
Gallery.
Yep.
and Jerry's video is still choppy. I don't know what you want to do about John. I don't know.
Yeah, I told him that the other folks were having luck using the link on the town site. That's what everybody else was.
Don't let us back there and get here.
Yeah. Well, at one point he said, at one point I thought he said he was coming in. I thought he meant here.
Oh.
And he was trying to come into the meeting. Well, Jim has a furrowed brow, so I think we've thoroughly confused him.
Well, the good news is we have a quorum and most people can hear us.
You want to call that good enough? That's right. Did you get Gary back? As in,
Let's see, yes, Gary is on.
okay. And the other person
And Chris
was-
Washburn is on too. But I don't see, Chris Washburn, are you there? Are you on? He's here listed, but it just gives me the chat option.
Like he has any audio?
So,
I just tried to let him talk and it says because he's using an older version of Zoom. Zoom just like last week updated everything.
oh, well, that's why it worked so well last meeting then.
Yeah.
We can't leave technology alone.
You know anything about that
They need to update their Zoom.
now?
Well, I said that. Come on.
Now it's problems over.
Trying to type Chris.
Eric, maybe that's what
apparently-
you have to do.
Update Zoom?
Yeah.
How the hell do you do that?
I think he's good with sizzle.
Appreciate the songbirds. We're gonna go get started here once.
Yeah.
Jimmy's done.
Yeah, I'll mute my birds.
Oh, no, they're fine. And Gary as well. He doesn't have the
I might have,
channel.
yeah, all I can do is chat with Gary too. I might have Chris,
Who's up first?
Chris is, right? I might have him call into the number. Is that all right?
Do
So I'll
that
give him the number.
last time. Then we have to get the house PA. Thanks, Al.
I'm trying to get, Chris Washburn to call in.
I'm going to pick it up on the speaker. Do you know what?
I don't know what happened to poor John.
Hey, gentlemen, if you want Chris to talk, it looks like I can click allow to talk. And there, he's now on my screen, as is Trish.
518-793-3180. We were calling about a highway department matter.
Hello?
Please dial direct.
Chris?
9256.
Hello?
Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, we have you on, I think via our attorney's audio, but the main thing is you're being heard.
All right, perfect.
Sorry
Hey,
about
I'm
this.
here for tech support too.
Thank you, Carla. So glad you're here. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. Good evening, everyone. This is Ron Zimmerman. This is the Town of Moreau Planning Board, meeting for June 15th, 2020. Just going to check in with Jim before I go too much farther. Do you have your audio being recorded?
Yes, we have the audio being recorded here,
Okay.
and it's being recorded on the tape recorder as a backup as well. Yes, numbers are moving, yes.
Okay, very good. Present here at Town Hall in terms of board members, we have Alan Van Tassel, Peter Jensen, Mike Shaver, and myself. And then virtually, I believe we have Eric and Jerry. I don't think we got John, but we were not quite sure. So we'll continue to monitor for John Arnold. Before I go any farther than that, I'd like to start with a notice that we will provide for the public regarding this public meeting and the originally scheduled public hearing for tonight. I confirmed with the attorney for the town that tonight's meeting and public hearing has been convened in accordance with the Governor's March 13, 2020 Executive Order 202.1, which suspends certain provisions of the Open Meetings Law to allow a municipal board to convene a meeting via video conferencing. In accordance with the executive order, the public has been provided the ability to view and participate in tonight's meeting, and a transcript will be provided at a later date. Secretary has done a roll call of the board members, and there is a quorum present for this meeting. I have also confirmed with the zoning administrator that this meeting, actually this is a correction. We have to have some conversation about, this meeting's been duly noticed, but the public hearing has not. So we'll talk more about that in a moment as it relates to our first application tonight. We've fulfilled our legal notice requirements by posting notice on the town's bulletin boards and door, faxing to the news organizations, et cetera, and posting notice on the town's homepage of its website and listing on the town's Facebook page. This is being recorded and a transcript will be prepared. We had a public hearing that was scheduled on an application for temporary sale of fireworks, which has frontage at 1315 Route 9, which is tax map parcel number 77.1-1-63, which was scheduled for tonight. we should just go ahead and get into that here shortly as it relates to the public hearing for that application. Before I do, just one quick matter of business. I would ask the board members to take a look at the minutes from May 18th, 2020. And again, another shout out to Tricia Andrews, who did a nice job capturing the minutes from that virtual meeting. So with that, just wanted to ask board members present here in Town Hall and virtual, if you have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the May 18, 2020 minutes. Done for you, Alan. I look really good. Tricia did a nice job. I didn't have anything for you, Peter or Mike?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Okay, Eric and Jerry, anything from either of you?
Nothing from me.
All set.
Okay, I have a motion to accept the minutes as prepared for the May 18th, 2020 Planning Board meeting from Mike. Do I have a second?
So.
And a second from Alan. Any further discussion? It's not too controversial. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? I shall concur. Motion carries. So with that, our first item of business tonight was an application by Keystone Novelties at 1315 Route 9 for the temporary sales of fireworks. We had a preliminary review and discussion at last month's meeting, and at that time we scheduled a public hearing for tonight. Chris Washburn is joining us from Keystone, and Jim Martin informed me that the proper notice for the public hearing did not go out. So as a planning board, we have a couple of options. This, as you might recall, was time sensitive for Keystone Novelties in that they plan to be open for business for the 4th of July holiday. And if we were to wait, let's say, to have a public hearing at our July meeting, then that would not work for them. So you got a couple of options. We could, and these are options, right, for discussion. One is you could waive the public hearing. You could schedule a meeting, which we would have to make sure was properly noticed and that in the right amount of time. Needs to be noticed for 10 days.
Do we need time to advertise in the newspaper?
Yeah, so, so I guess at this point I'll open it up for discussion. I don't think that there was any other information that we were waiting on from.
Well, it was.
I thought we got that, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we did. There was additional information requested, and according to my notes, it was their reopening plan or opening plan to meet with the state's requirements for, you know, what's going on with the special procedures with the COVID virus. And they did submit that plan.
A copy of their.
And they also provided us a copy of their sign permit application. There was supposed to be some coordination with the fire department as well. Those are the three things I had. And obviously the public hearing. And that one's on me.
Jim, have you spoken with the fire chief about this, or?
No, I did not.
Has he made himself available, or?
I thought it was the applicant's responsibility, or I would have called.
It is. Okay, so it is the applicant. Yeah, I wasn't sure who's.
I'm happy to do it, but I thought it was the applicant to
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
follow up on that.
Are you there, Chris?
Yes, I'm here.
Do you know if any conversations had gone on with the fire department?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't really know for sure. Keith didn't fill me in on that part.
Okay.
I also run the management too, so I'm there I'm the one that deals with, I put all the fencing in, I do all the work for the tent as far as what's needed.
Okay.
Chris, did you get approval from State Fire on these?
Oh yeah, they show up after we get in there. He wants to see that the extinguishers are all there, the tables are set up, what product we're getting on the tables, that there's all the entranceways are labeled with the exit signs, vice versa. And when he comes in, we usually don't have any issues.
Okay, so Jim, if we have State Fire in there anyways, we should be okay, right?
Well, we can certainly provide notice between now and then, make them aware that this is happening.
For coordination.
Yep, for coordination.
That makes sense.
Because we do have a couple weeks yet. So yeah, I think we can take care of that. I'll be in tomorrow and I can make sure he's notified.
So when, just for hypothetical sake then, Jim, if we put out a notice, let's say this week, would it be tomorrow, or when would it go into the paper? Not till Friday, Wednesday, right?
I know we can get it out tomorrow.
But does tomorrow count?
No, in terms of when it publishes, though, we can get it in the paper tomorrow, but it may not publish until Wednesday.
Do they put it online first and then it goes into print?
All I know is it takes a couple of days for them to publish it after we send the notice in.
Okay.
We didn't have any public concerns last year, did we? I don't think we had anybody here for public hearing then.
Not to my recollection. I don't remember there being anything that stood out about it. Like,
I don't either.
you know, we did as a board have some initial concerns, and we made edits to the entrance and the exit to make sure it wasn't on Route 9, right? It was only off of Spire Falls Road.
Yeah.
And as Jim pointed out last time, there weren't any complaints or issues or anything that was raised, you know, during their operations last year.
The only thing I would point out, I think is relevant is this is a temporary use. It is just for, I think, up to 3 weeks. And I know in the past application, like for example, with Fred Bartlett, if you recall, we had 2 modifications there that we did not subject to a public hearing of an original site plan on near Route 9. So if this were a permanent use, you know, I could understand why you'd want to do that. But as a temporary use, from a staff point of view, I'm less concerned as a temporary use. I will say that.
And they have the 24-hour security there, so.
Yep. And they're subject to 24-hour spot check from the state.
Yep. Yep.
What were the dates of operation again? When did they hope to open?
Chris, what were your dates of operation?
I got here June 25th.
Yep. There's a 25th through the 5th.
Yeah, I don't think we could make a June 25th date with a hearing. No, I know we can't.
You're not going to 10 days.
Does council have any concerns about waiting?
Yeah, what, and not that it's not an excuse, but what made it a difficult month is Wednesday fell on June 1st. And so, but it's an oversight on my part. I take complete responsibility.
Of last year, when we had Keystone in here, Eric made a motion to waive the public hearing for Keystone was approved unanimously, so I don't think it could have been for such a great
There you go.
consternation.
I was just thinking about making a 1-year anniversary motion to that.
But before you do, I guess just put it out to Carla and ask at this point, hearing a little bit of back and forth as far as where we're at with this application. Do you have any concerns or any pause for concern?
I'm really not concerned. I mean, this was on last week, and though it wasn't on for public, or last month, though it wasn't on for public hearing, there was folks in the audience. It was noticed today to be on. It is temporary, and given last year that there wasn't any real controversy from the public, I'm not too concerned about it if the board wants to waive the public hearing.
Also, the county chimed in with no countywide impact.
Right, because I had to know that was the one other thing from last time that we were looking to hear back from them prior to tonight.
No.
So no countywide impact there, right?
So then I think you would be fine.
Yep, no significant countywide impact. And I will notice the fire chief tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you and the state fire are okay.
Yep.
They do a bit thorough job, so.
In this case, you have their COVID-19 plan submitted, you have the sign permit, right, Jim?
Yes.
There was one other concern, I think, that was raised last time about the amount of signage just on and around on the tent, but that was something that you were gonna help to resolve anyway.
Yeah, I mean, the sign regulations are the sign regulations. They can only have what's permissible under the code. So it's certainly not everything they had shown there.
Yeah.
I think what we did last year, I remember, I thought part of the approving resolution was, it was subject to review by Matt Drymiller too. He was gonna visit the site, prior to the opening, make sure everything was in order.
And we did that last year with actually both of the applications, this one and the one that was closer to the northway.
Yeah.
Eastbound side of the road.
Yeah, we didn't get that one back in this year. We only had this one.
Right. Okay, board, I guess, first items first, what would be your preference for?
Well, the other thing I would note is this is a type 2 action under secrets exempt. Being under 4,000 square feet.
Okay. First items first, then I guess, Jim, we'll take some action on the need for public hearing.
Right.
Does anybody have a feeling, or Eric, are you still interested in your?
I'll given the repetitive nature of this applicant and the lack of controversy, I make a motion that we waive the public hearing requirement for Keystone Fireworks on the corner of Spirefall Road and Route 9.
I have a motion from Eric to waive the requirement for public hearing for Keystone Novelties. Again, that's at 1315 Route 9. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
A motion by Eric and a second by Mike. Any further discussion? Tricia, would you call the roll, please? Do you have Tricia?
Trish? Carla, do you see Trish and John there now as attendees?
I see John.
I just put Trish on. You should
And
be able to talk.
John was there.
John's on now too.
Okay.
Yep. Trish, can you talk?
Okay, I'm here.
Okay, John's there. John Arnold is on.
Hi, John.
Hello, John.
Let the record show that John Arnold is in attendance at the meeting. Trish, are you there?
I see her on the screen.
I hear.
I hear her. She's there.
I hear her kind of faintly, but she's there.
They won't stay put. Neither will this.
I have very, very weak internet at home tonight. All right, what order do I pull in when everybody's all over the place?
That's way better.
Oh, there you go.
Alphabetical.
You must have got closer to the microphone, but you're better.
Can ever, Mr. Arnold?
Yeah.
Mr. Bergman?
Yes.
Mr. Bouchard?
Yeah.
Mr. Jensen?
Yes.
Mr. Shaver?
Yes.
Mr. Van Tassel?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes, thank you, Trish. I shall concur. Motion carries.
We have a lot of names at the end of the alphabet there.
Okay, so with that, what would you like to see or do next with the Keystone novelties. We talked about a couple of additional pieces that are going to happen. One is Jim is going to help coordinate tomorrow with the fire chief, along with the state fire department. Also, the site would be inspected prior to the start of operation by Matt Drymiller. I guess, what date would that be? They wanted to be June 25th, so it would have to be prior to.
Yeah, Chris, what date will you have the site set up for inspection?
It's due to be set up on, I want to say the opening day is the 25th, so that's when it'll be up.
So if we were there, what's your opening time on the 25th?
9 a.m.
Yeah, we have to wait for the tractor trailers to drop, and so attendance and they're usually there at 7:30 a.m. but the truck can come anytime, so it's
We'll be there first thing on the 25th then.
Okay.
Are the signs up prior to that?
No, it's all done that morning.
Okay. All right, we'll be there on the 25th first thing then.
Yes, yeah. The fence will be done because I do the fence early.
Yeah, we can certainly take a look at that beforehand, but we'll be there on the morning of the 25th.
Okay.
And that's all I had in terms of, coordination steps or conditional pieces. Was there anything else that you had, Jim?
I know typically you do sign the site plan, but again, on this one, it's a repeat from last year, and it is temporary. If you want to go through that motion, we could, but I don't know if we do have a site plan.
Yeah.
Of sorts.
I would.
Okay.
I mean, it's more of a technical detail, but I think it's good practice.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, board, I'm ready for anything you want to do. Or any other questions you might have for this applicant or additional information that you might need from Keystone Novelties?
Not me.
All right, are you looking for a motion, Ron?
If that's what you'd like to do, I think we have everything in place at this point.
I'll make a motion that we approve the site plan for Keystone Novelties, contingent upon the notes of record.
Okay, I have a motion for approval of the site plan for temporary sales of fireworks for Keystone Novelties at 1315 Route 9 by Eric. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Peter. Any further discussion? Tricia, would you call the roll again, please?
Mr. Arnold?
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Bergman?
Yes.
Mr. Bouchard?
Yes.
Mr. Jensen?
Yes.
Mr. Shaver?
Yes.
Mr. Van Tassel?
Yes.
Chairman?
Yes. Motion carries. And your other last motion would be if you would like to see the chairman and one other member sign the site plan, final site plan when presented.
I'll make a motion for the chairman and one other member to sign the site plan when presented.
Second. The motion to sign the site plan when presented for Keystone Novelties 1315 Route 9. I have a motion by Jerry and a second by Alan. Any further discussion? It's not too controversial. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? I shall agree. Motion carries.
What I might suggest on that is, we have one, we can take one copy and we can have, if you want to sign it, one other member, and that'll be out of the way.
This one is the one that you're referring
Right,
to.
and that's the same one I have in the file.
So Chris, what we just decided is that we're going to help you out and take the file copy of the site plan, and myself and one other member will sign that tonight, so you can pick that up, I guess, pick up a copy from Jim.
Right. We'll have a copy and we'll leave the original in the file.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Anything further for us, Chris?
No, sir. Thank you.
All right, thanks for putting up with us and getting connected tonight. Appreciate your help doing that.
Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great night.
All right, good luck. Have a good season.
Okay, Carl, I'm going to impose upon you again to try and get Gary in because you apparently have the power and I don't. Get Gary in as a panelist.
Do you want the tent layout?
I just unmuted him. He should be fine.
Do you want the tent layout? As well?
Yeah,
Just
yep.
the site plan?
I think both would be good.
Okay.
And if you can sign and date it.
Peter,
You have me?
Gary, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. We're just finishing up some logistical business with the prior applicant. We'll be right with you.
Okay, great. All right, good evening, Gary. Thanks for joining and getting connected with us tonight. Gary, I believe, is here presenting on behalf of Stuart Bovee for a sketch plan review on Route 9. It's actually at the west side of the Northway interchange at exit 17 with frontage on both Spire Falls and Old Saratoga roads. Does that sound right, Gary?
That is right.
Right. So maybe you could give us a little background information on what it is that Mr. Stewart is proposing and what you know about the site.
Okay, well, the total site size is about 70 acres. And the odd thing about the site is the way that the zone line runs through there. It's mostly commercial one, but there's some residential one that goes through there too. And of course, it's not at the property lines. They tried to have that changed before and it didn't pass. So it kind of remains that way right now. We have 5 lots that we're looking at. If you're looking at my actual plan, which says proposed 5-lot subdivision plan,
Okay.
you'll see that there's 7 wetlands there.
Yes.
They've all been delineated. They've all been approved by Army Corps and DEC. There's let's see, I think there's 4 of them that are Army Corps wetlands and 3 of them are DEC wetlands. And I have a little chart up in the center of that plan.
That's fine.
Yep, that was very helpful, Gary. Thanks. Are they flagged in the field?
I don't know if the flags are still there. They were done. They were done about 4.5 years ago. So they may be gone. I wouldn't doubt that some of them are still there because I don't think there's a lot of people out there. But I don't know. It's 4 years. I think it's tough.
Okay.
Terry's looking to subdivide it and then sell the lots off. He's not looking to develop anything himself. We were looking at the lots along Old Saratoga Road as being residential. And then the large lot that would be left, we're thinking would be commercial. He's had some solar interest in that larger lot, and not sure where it's going yet. Those guys can kind of come and go, but one for the utilities, the water supply would be on-site wells for the first 4 lots, so A, B, C, and D. But the last lot, there's actually water up on Spire Falls Road, and I did talk to Jesse about it, and he said that we could get water if somebody wanted to develop that and they needed some water, that they could bring water in. They have a small 60-foot access that goes out to Spire Falls Road. You can see it on the inset up to the left. And he said that they could get water and they could go down there and use that water. It's treated and has chlorine residual and all that. So that's a good thing. The sewage disposal would all have to be on-site septic systems. There's no sewer anywhere. I keep hearing that Moreau might have sewer soon though, but at any rate, we're going out probably in the next 2 weeks and do percolation tests and test pits on each of the lots. And hopefully we'll have some information to you either at the next meeting or the meeting after. And then the last item would be really stormwater. And we've run across this before and we've talked to DC about it. Because we're selling it and we don't know what's going to be where. If indeed the first 4 lots end up being residential, that would be exempt. And if we've been involved in one solar project before, and that was also exempted. They don't, if the solar panels aren't considered to be impervious, and as such, normally you don't need to get a permit for that. So we're thinking what we would do is for the preliminary, or for the subdivision plan, would be to actually do a erosion sediment control plan. And I can't think of anything else. I guess a couple of things I had was, I was just wondering if you were to look at like lots B, C, and D, lot A is all residential. Lot B is mostly residential, but the area that would be good to put a house is in the commercial zone. And I'm not sure if that's something that you guys allow in that zone, if it's a split zone.
That was going to be a comment that I have, Gary. Yeah, the residential wouldn't be allowed in the C1 zone. And I know you mentioned the prior, rezoning effort, and it wasn't so much that it was denied; it was just pulled. He decided to pull the application. Terry did at the time, Terry Stewart.
Yep.
Because there was building opposition from the residential neighborhood. I think it's on Mountainside Road or Mountain View Road.
Yep. That's the road up there.
The thing that wasn't attempted, because he was attempting to push the commercial zone line further onto the property and bring it closer to the residents, and that's what was causing the problem. What wasn't attempted is the idea of pushing the residential zone line towards Old Saratoga Road.
So they would be residential.
And making those 4 lots, A, B, C, and D, all in the residential districts.
This is all commercial.
So, I don't know what he wants to do about that, but all I can tell you is right now, it wouldn't be allowed, not unless the house was north of the zoning boundary in lot C and D, and that looks like that's gonna be a little tight with long driveways.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be really tight on lot B. It looks like you got a septic system kind of shown there in where it says 22 degrees, 50, you know, the longitudinal thing there, is that a septic system you're trying to show there? The little rectangular box on lot B?
That's a septic system the surveyor had on there. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
We haven't been out to do any tests though, so.
Yeah, so I don't know, I mean, that's an internal decision among you guys, but all I can tell you is the residential use in the C1 zone is not gonna be allowed. It'd be a use variance to do that.
That's what I was just gonna say, is that's something that could still be used or go in front of the zoning board and ask for a variance
Sure.
on a site-by-site basis.
Right.
If I could just address something quickly here, this is John Arnold. I'm looking at a map, and then the applicant just mentioned that there's a problem here, or conflict or whatever, with the C1 and the R1 zone. This is not an R1 zone out here. At least not on my zoning map. It shows as an R2.
R2. Oh.
Am I looking at the right map?
Let me get my map and double check.
I'm sorry.
Jim's going to confirm whether that's an R1 or R2 adjacent.
I'm pretty sure there's no R1 zone that far out of town.
Yep.
So,
You're right, John.
I went and looked it up on the town website, and it says R2 out there. So,
Okay, once again, that was the surveyor put that on there, and I was trusting him.
okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, we confirmed that, Gary, I guess for the purposes of lot E,
Yes.
make sure I got this right. Yes, lot E, right now, it shows in general, what looks like an ATV trail that approaches Spire Falls Road. Is that
It's R2.
sorry, it's R2?
Yep.
Yeah, Jim's back and said you were right, John, it's R2.
Okay.
You want to finish your thought before I go ramble?
No, actually, I have other ones, but they can move along. It's just before we got too far into it, I wanted to make sure that was clarified.
Okay. So in any event, my question, I guess, Gary, was, is there consideration to provide access to the site from Spire Falls Road, or would that just be for the purposes of a water connection, or with what's being considered, I guess, as part of that detail for where it would gain access at Spire Falls, do you know?
I think that land can only be used for utility and fire.
I don't. If you're talking about the 60-foot along the northway that goes up to Spire Falls,
Yeah.
Yep.
that can be used for that may be able to be used to bring water in for fire hydrants, but the degree of slope on that overpass that 60 feet involves,
Right. Oh yeah, it's huge.
it's certainly not an access way of any kind whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, that's where I was going with that.
Yeah, I think that would, if you recall, we just had a subdivision done up in that area. You guys looked at it a couple of years ago, and I think that was just left to provide the necessary frontage on a public right of way to meet the technical requirement.
Got it.
So that brings us to the other end of Lot E, which is over on Route 9. Actually, it looks like it fronts on Old Saratoga Road. And you have an access way on that bend of that intersection of Old Saratoga Road and US Route 9.
Yes.
Okay.
Just just shown as a driveway going in. It's not anything special.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is I think I could probably understand it as like an access driveway, but being that that's a C1 and we're just saying that there's a possibility of it being solar, if there's something else going to go into that C1, I think now's the time to determine that spot, to me at least, where you had that driveway can only be a driveway. I don't see that as a road access to any other commercial activity myself. I think if that's the case, you need to move it further away from that intersection of Old Saratoga Road and Route 9.
Right, and you know, the surveyor just showed something to show something. He's just, you know, presuming that what's going to happen is somebody's going to buy that for a commercial parcel, and they would
Right.
come in with a plan themselves, and whatever we did is not, you know, not going to be germane to what they do.
Okay, so maybe I need to be more clear what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
If you think there's a possibility that whoever buys that's going to want to have that instead being a driveway be a road in, I can't see approving that myself personally.
Okay.
So
I think the lot line, the lot line's wrong, right, John?
Well, no, it's
The
just
lot line
because
doesn't allow an access.
well,
far
because
enough
the
away
access,
from the intersection.
yeah, the access puts it, if it's a road, it's right on top of that intersection with Route 9. So
Agreed.
it's just a really horrible setup. So I guess what I'm saying is if you think it's going to be something other than solar panels and they need an access driveway to get into it, then maybe we need to reconsider the front of Lot D and give more access to move that further up Old Saratoga Road. I guess that's all I'm saying.
I know there's been two interests shown in that over the last several years. One was a commercial nursery, you know, selling, you know, plants, trees, that kind of stuff. And then there was I don't know if you remember the luxury RV guy with the luxury RV park. He was looking at this site.
Right. So it's just something to think about. I mean, if there's some way to get, it just seems to me it'd be a very uncomfortable place to have a road coming out onto Old Saratoga Road and Route 9 right there. A driveway, sure, that's different than a road. So I don't really want to limit him in any way to what future purchasers can use that property for just because we make a mistake in subdivision and don't give them enough room to make a safe roadway there.
John, so what you're saying is that whole 275 foot of frontage, you don't like having a commercial driveway in?
No. All right. So Lot E, all right. So Lot D has 275 feet of frontage.
Right.
Lot D does. That's adequate for a driveway, and it's far enough away from the intersection. If whoever it was wanted to put a road in there, great. What I'm talking about is Lot E. They are showing a driveway on the curve of Old Saratoga Road where it connects with Route 9.
Okay. Okay.
Are we in the same spot there?
We are. Yeah, we are.
Okay. I think that's it's okay for a driveway for access to a, you know, even a commercial nursery or something. But if you're talking about down the road, somebody might buy that and want to put in an RV park or something, that's not a very safe connection right there for a road.
Okay.
So that's just me. I mean, I'm just one voice on this, but I wondered if maybe it might be wise while we're in the planning stage to try and find some way to get more access there.
Okay, well, let me look at it when we go out in the field and, you know, see what it looks like out there.
Because that's a huge parcel of commercial zone right there. It's 52 acres, almost 53 acres of commercial that we've already eliminated access on Spire Falls Road. Okay, and
it might be worthwhile, given the proximity to the interstate, it might be worthwhile having a discussion with DOT about that, Gary, because I know that interchange is in the process of a redesign.
Yeah, are they doing the south exit though?
Well, we're not, nothing's been confirmed, but what they were gonna do is essentially replicate the configuration of exit 19 down here. So they're doing away with the clover leaf, and they're gonna do essentially the same access pattern that you have at exit 19. In other words, the southbound traveler who's looking to head across or get onto Aviation Road, you go under the underpass and loop back around. Well, the same thing would happen here.
Okay.
But that was just a preliminary design. I don't know what they've done for the final yet. I think it's in design right now. But it would be worthwhile having a conversation with them about this, because they're gonna have a say about what happens on that 100 foot of frontage at 99.81 feet. DOT is gonna comment on any access that goes through there.
Okay. All right. All right. We'll give them a holler before we come back. and see what they have in, you know, in their back pocket.
So, I mean, if that's the case and somehow you get access directly to Route 9 or, I mean, all of this is proposed. There's nothing solid up here anyways, as far as what might happen on that 53 acres. But, and even if you went forward with combining lot D and E and moving forward, that gives you access, a good, solid, safe access onto it. But that's something to consider. You could later subdivide if you wanted to move ahead fast right now. But you could do just what you have right now, and it just might limit whoever buys that 53 acres.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree.
So.
I agree. When we were talking about the zone issue, are we thinking that if we took the R1C or the R2C2 zone line and ran it essentially where the line is between D and E and made A through D residential, you think that might be palatable to everyone?
I think that would be much better received by the neighborhood there than the past attempt at pushing the C zoning further into the lot. If you were to extend the R2 zone across lots A, B, C, and D completely, based on what I heard from the neighborhood, they would like that.
Yeah, that was their strong preference the last time we talked about it.
Okay.
But that's got to be done by a petition to the town board.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Let me talk with Terry and we'll see what he thinks about that, and maybe you know, consider doing something like that.
I think that would clean this up, because this has been a messy situation on a large piece of property with a lot of wetlands and stuff on it. It's just another complicating factor.
No doubt about it.
It definitely is. I agree with that, but also I think before we just rush headlong into advising, you know, that type of an action, John's point needs to be taken into account as well, because if that line, as currently shown between lots D and E, becomes the difference between C1 and R2, and then we need to move the entry into lot E. Now we're going to be talking about a zoning, maybe boundary adjustment, right? Not just a lot adjustment. So, you know,
that's the point I'll take it. It would be good to understand the access for lot E before they make any final decisions about where they run the zone line.
I was just going to add that I think I'd be more comfortable with them moving the R2 line for A, B, and C, and leaving the C1, maybe moving the C1 back on D and E. That way you're maintaining a commercial zone there.
So I think is what you're saying, John, is that you'd only end up having 3 residential lots, and they would be on A, B, and C.
Right, and then you have D and E still listed as commercial if they need to be combined to put a road in or whatever.
No.
That's far enough back on those other lots that the commercial shouldn't have a huge impact on the residential use. That can't, at least not one that can't be mitigated.
I think what John is saying is that, you know, move forward with the R2 on A, B, and C, and leave D and E as commercial.
Yep.
Is that right, John?
Yes, or at least
anything like that.
Or some permutation to that, right? I think what you're hearing, Gary, is that if we don't do that, if we want to advocate, excuse me, that lot D also become residential, then we still are going to have to mitigate and amend the site access for E somehow, right? So whatever, after you talk to Terry, whatever you think is the approach you want to take, I guess, just let us know.
We understand. I understand. Do you see anything else that might be something we should look into?
We're absolutely positive on the wetlands lines for number 4 and number 5.
Yeah, they have been delineated. They were done some time ago. They are rock solid.
Okay, I'm just checking because they seem to be conveniently leaving room for access road. So we just wanted to make sure that we were solid on that.
It is just a coincidence, to tell the truth.
A very good one, but still.
Yeah, sometimes that happens, Jan.
Yeah.
Well, you're still gonna have to get that access road through the buffer, and that's still gonna require a permit.
Right.
I still think, I'm gonna say this though. I think if you leave Lot D and Lot E as commercial, okay, and it comes down the road where, you know, somebody decides they're gonna do a commercial greenery or whatever in that E zone, they don't need the driveway access or the roadway access, but then down the road they do. That leaves them the opportunity to work a deal with Lot D and combine a road. And so I still like that idea of keeping them both commercial at this point, even if we do allow the subdivision on it.
Okay, I think on one hand, I'm thinking that you're saying, let's go to a 4-lot subdivision.
Nope.
And then, okay. And then you're thinking that maybe we stay with a 5-lot, but we,
All I said with the 5-lot is if you do that, then the guy in Lot E, if he wants to have a road in there in the future, he may have to work a deal with Lot D, or he may just not be able to do it.
right.
If it turns out to be a difficult thing for traffic flow. But it's certainly better than if it's residential on Lot D. That makes it impossible at that point. So.
Okay, all right.
I would start with a discussion with DOT, Gary, to find out what their opinion is on access through there.
Absolutely.
We will. I'll get a hold of them before we come back to make sure we know what's up. Now, would we want to back to that zone line, would we want to leave it across Lot D the way that it goes, and then on the between C and D run it back up to
If I were you, given what I heard out of that neighborhood, I would just rezone, like John said, lots A through C to R2, and then leave the line on D alone.
Yeah, we've had this discussion before, and I think the mindset has been if you leave that R1 in the back, still
Right.
allows you commercial development, but it creates a natural buffer for the residences behind it.
Exactly.
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yep, I think that's just safer than, and that way you won't be banging your head against a wall of contention either.
Sure.
I think everybody's going to be thrilled with that compromise right there.
Okay, all right. Well, let's,
You hope.
yeah.
Well, I hope, and it also leaves me another question, and that is that, and I probably shouldn't ask this, but Lot C is 6.6 acres. And it looks like it's fairly non-wetland. If it is going to be residential, is it possible to split that into 2 lots? And you might give that a consideration if you want, if you're going to make it residential.
We'll take a look at it. We'll take a look at it and see. Like I say, when we get out in the field and we actually do some test holes,
Exactly. Right.
find out what we have there, and
Right.
look at about where these boundaries are specifically. It'll be maybe a little better, and we'll know a little better.
Yep.
But I don't, off the top of my head, I don't know the C2 requirements either. So
The R2?
The R2 requirements. So we'll look at it, and by the time we come back, we'll know what's what. And maybe it'll be that we petition the town board before we come back.
Well, without water, the minimum lot size is 32,500 square feet.
The 3/4 acre.
Yeah, in the R2.
Okay. Yeah.
And and the other thing you could do, if you start pushing lines around, is give a little bit more area to lot B, so that's not so constrained by all that wetland area.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
And then bring it all the way over behind McDonald's.
Well,
Gary, was that discussion helpful? Is there anything else that we can do to make it more challenging for you?
That's why we get paid the big money,
You do. In all seriousness, was that helpful? Is that what you were hoping to accomplish tonight?
It is, yeah. That's exactly what I was hoping to accomplish. But if you see anything else, you know, I don't see anything else. I think you've hit on a lot of good points, and we'll take a look at those things. I can't think of anything else.
Okay.
So I think I'm good.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you connecting with us.
All right, if you need help with, you know, going to the board with a zone change, just let me know.
I will, Jim. Yep, I'll come in and see you.
Okay.
And Carla, that shirt does look great. Just want to let you know.
Thank you, Gary.
You're welcome. Night,
Are
guys.
we all set with Gary then?
I think as long as Gary's all set with us.
I think I am.
All right, thanks, Gary.
All right, we'll see you.
So it's just us, I guess, board members. Anything else for us, Jim, that you have to?
Just to update on the zoning ordinance, we've entered.
Wait, gentlemen, can I pop in first?
Yes, you can.
On the last one, I was reviewing a lot of the plans and everything, and I mean, this isn't something that Gary needed to be in on, but you just got to be careful telling an applicant, hey, go to the town board for a rezoning, because, you know, the town board is the one that makes the rezoning. And, you know, I know also, you know, Jim, we were working on the zoning amendments. I didn't know if that was going to be part of the zoning map. So just, it's one of those, it's a good idea, but just be careful about saying to the applicant, hey, go to the town board and tell them that this is what we want you to do. Just kind of, just be careful. That's all.
Well, he's going to go before them and say that John Arnold said, so that's fine.
Okay, well, as long as he just names John, that's fine.
Right.
Hey, I didn't, no. I didn't say zoning change. I think I said something about going in front of the zoning board for a variance, which I'm not sure you can get from the zoning or zoning map. Anyway, so I really messed up, I think.
I just wanted to put that little bug in your ears.
Understood, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, on the update to the zoning ordinance, we've reached the phase where we're going out and doing the land use inventory in the commercial districts. That's an important step. So, because we're going to look at trying to make the use schedules in the commercial districts much more detailed.
Okay.
So that starts with understanding what the existing land use pattern is. We're out doing that inventory now. We're doing a windshield survey, you know, and then we're comparing that with assessment data to make sure that it all matches out and that we have good, accurate use schedules when we, because we're going to be, I think the commercial zoning district, although in its framework is going to be largely the same, the detail of it is going to be a lot different than it is today.
Okay.
Or at least in the first draft anyhow.
Right.
As it comes out to you guys to look at. So, but I just want to let you know that's where we're at in that phase of the work. And we did have a suspension of that work for a while as we entered into everything that happened with the COVID stuff. It was thought just better to put things on pause until they understood where things were at. And that did happen though, and now we've been authorized to restart again. So we had a little bit of a lost time there, maybe a couple months were lost, but now we're back at it.
Okay.
So that's all I had.
All right. I guess with that, before I entertain a motion to adjourn, I'll wish everybody a happy 4th of July holiday.
That's true.
And make sure you're safe and stay healthy. So.
And storage is going along. We have the escrow money has been deposited. The contract or the letter of authorization has been signed with Peter Faith to do the third-party review. So now we're just waiting for the resubmission. And they had some traffic stuff to tie out, obviously, with that, the DOT and all that. And I'm expecting we'll be getting a revised site plan too.
Do you think they'll be back in July?
I'm expecting that'll be the case. They've had one round of comments with LaBerge on the stormwater. LaBerge reviewed it. Got their first comment letter back. I forwarded that back to them. So I'm expecting between that and the traffic And we're probably gonna have a little bit of a site plan redesign too, in deference to some of the parking, layout is gonna change in terms of parking width and location of the handicap. And we also had a landscaping plan, I think, that had to be updated.
They were gonna take another look at the actual total amount of retail space as well, based on your recommendations, to see what they needed for parking.
Right, and do the calculation on that basis, because I think they can have a actual fewer number of spaces there that would accommodate the wider width.
Just have to make sure they count in the beer cave.
That's right.
Yeah, that's retail. Yeah.
How did we do with the septic system on that? Wasn't there some talks they were gonna put?
Well, that too, they were in fact correct that dry wells are allowed with exception and approval of DEC. There are exceptions where they are permitted, so that looks like that is okay to do that. I would have swore it wasn't, but
Yeah, well, it's good to look into. It's not gonna be that long anyways, I don't think.
hopefully not. But the point is that the dry well is a permissible system as long as DEC reviews it and meets their exceptions.
So that leads into another question. Anybody else that comes along through there are gonna be required to hook to that?
Oh, yeah, if they're in the district, they'll be required to hook in, yeah.
Required.
Yep.
Good.
Yep, and we won't be wasting space on leach beds anymore.
Okay, good.
I went down Reservoir Road the other day, and I saw there was, Mr. Bartlett was actually digging footers.
Who?
So there's been some progress.
Who was digging footers, Jerry?
Fred Bartlett.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes, well done.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I almost went off the road when I saw that. That was
yeah,
good.
yeah, I fell off my chair.
So, no, that's good. Good progress being made, yeah.
It's progress.
Progress, definitely. All right, before we go sideways, motion to adjourn.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Good night, everyone. Happy motion to adjourn.
Yes, by Alan, second. Michael?
Yes.
Okay, Mike says second, yes. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Abstentions?
Aye.
Shall not occur.
Yep, thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Stay safe.
Take care, all.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you,
Take care.
Carl.
Bye, Carl.
Bye, everybody. Okay.